We are taking you live. This is happening in Winnipeg, and on your screen, family and supporters of Rinelle Harper, the 16-year-old girl who was assaulted, sexually assaulted. She was beaten. She was left for dead on the banks of the Assiniboine River in Winnipeg. And we will listen in live to this news conference by family and supporters.
The family to be able to express their concerns, but also to be thankful for what has happened here over the past week. As we all know, that Rinelle has been fighting for her life for the last several days, and as we all know, yesterday she was moved from ICU unit into a regular children's ward, which is very not only disturbing to hear that when they say that how can a child be treated as such. So those are the things that we want to talk about today, and I want to thank Fred, who's going to be speaking on behalf of the family, and at the same time we'll try and make time to be able to do a one-on-one after, but for now here's Fred Harper.
I'd like to thank everyone here come to hear our thankful, our gratitude for coming here. The family of Rinelle Harper would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the extended family, to the community, and to hundreds of families and individuals who have shared their continuous prayers and support for Rinelle's health and recovery. We are thankful that with your prayer and your support, Ryell is now safe and getting stronger every day. Rinelle's family would like to thank the Winnipeg Police Service for working with the family to work with the investigation on this horrible crime that was committed. We are grateful that the community showed courage by coming forward with information, and the Winnipeg police acted so quickly to make 2 arrests. The family is relieved to know that these 2 accused persons are off the streets. We understand and appreciate some of the Rinelle supporters who want to show their support by organizing events and rallies. The family asks that people who want to organize events in Rinelle's name, we ask for communication with the family. We're asking also the people to always come forward with any information about acts of violence who are committed against our girls and women. Rinelle's family is asking everyone to come together to make our communities anywhere in the province of Manitoba, nationwide, so that our communities are a safe place for every individual, especially our girls and women.
Thank you, Fred. We have Chief Greg Harper is going to be speaking here. We'll just slide this over.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the people and the Chief and Council of the Red Sucker Lake First Nation, I would like to thank all the people who shared their prayers and gave their support to Rinelle Harper and to her parents, Julie and Caesar Harper, and to all of Rinelle's family. We are so thankful that Rinelle is safe and getting better every day. We are glad to see that the Winnipeg Police Service worked with the family and acted so quickly to identify the accused persons and to arrest them. Most of the Harpers in the Island Lake and Red Sucker Lake communities are relatives. We see this assault on Rinelle as an assault on all of us. The Red Sucker Lake First Nation stands beside Rinelle and Julie, and also Caesar. We will stand beside all our relations and all of our families to make sure that our communities and cities like Winnipeg are safe for all of our relations. It is very important that people come forward quickly with any information about acts of violence against our girls and women. We have to stop this violence against girls and women. We have to let everyone know that we are watching and that we will act on what we see. The Red Sucker Lake First Nation asks everyone to join together to make our communities safer, places for all, girls and women, and also to our children. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to get Chief Colomb to make a quick statement here.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Morning. My name is Andrew Colomb. I'm Chief of Marcel Colomb First Nation. I'm here to, support the family. I understand as what happened was a tragedy, and certainly we want to protect our women, our girls. We understand that, we all understand, our children. We all have children, and education is a priority and it's very important. And I think we need to maintain, how to protect our children as a whole, to be able to continue their education. I'm from northwest Manitoba, and our children do come here for their education, and I think that is very important that we put out this awareness of how, all of us in the city be able to protect our children as a whole. And I think it's very important that we understand reasons why our children are here, and looking after our children as a whole. Working with the mayor and council in the city, and with the First Nations organizations in the city that are here. I think we need to establish a safety for our children that are here. It's very unfortunate as to what happened with this young woman, with this young girl. I know she's here for that purpose, and to educate herself, and we shouldn't look at it as anything else. But we have to take a negative and put it into a positive. I think that's the mentality that we need to establish, and we need to certainly look their way, and protect these children. I just want to thank the police, the city police, for making an effort and doing their work and what they did to be able to arrest the people responsible for this tragedy. And I just want to thank you all for listening, and of course I want to thank you. I want to thank the Grand Chief, for doing what he's doing here. Thank you.
Okay, again, just want to thank you all. We've asked the family. Unfortunately, the mother says she's not at this time able to speak, but the father wants to say a few comments. As you all know, that Rinelle's waiting for her parents right now, so we'll get this done as soon as possible.
Hi, my name is Caesar. My name is Caesar Harper. I'm from Cardinal, and I would like to say thank you for your prayers, thoughts, thinking about us. Our life is really tough time as we were here, and right now. Say thank you so much.
It is, as you all know, it is tough times for us, for all of us, and as a whole, as a community. These are the things that there's so much mixed emotions that are out there right now, both in the thoughts and the prayers and the kindness, and sometimes there's rage that comes in. We just want to ask quietly, as we've discussed over the last couple of days, that there should be no retaliation, is what the family's asking. We don't. One family's hurt already, and there's two others other families that are hurt already. So please, we just plead the people out there, even on social media, that we have to, as the chiefs and the elders have said, we got to turn this around. It is a time for. This is the hour that we have to call for the change and a shift of the acts of violence have to stop. A few years ago, Rinelle's uncle stood before the legislature and he says no. And this is the same thing that Rinelle did in the frigid waters. When she was attacked, beaten, lain for dead, thrown in the water, she got back up from the waters. She says, no, this is not going to happen anymore. And she got beaten again, and she got back up. Says, no more to violence, no more to these kind of deaths. And in the coming days, you'll be hearing from Rinelle. I want to thank the community, the country. I want to especially thank Mrs. Sophia Trudeau, who called last night, who talked to Rinelle last night, that she's willing to fight on behalf of these young missing and murdered women. And then we're calling all parties that we have to put an end to this violence. More for education, more for our youth, more for our children, and the safety of our children. As you see the young girl there standing behind here today with us, she got off the plane. What are her first words? I wonder if somebody will grab me. That's not the kind of Winnipeg that we know of. That's not the friendly Manitoba that we know of. So today, moving forward as family and as a community, we ask that this is a time that the wind has to change. And it is each and every one of us, it is our responsibility to be able to make that change. We have to put an end to violence. And for the safety of those people that are walking these streets, that are among the streets, we call on a justice minister, because the system doesn't protect our young men and women. It's too weak. Probably bail is already put in place. So those are the things that we have to look at. Healing for those people. We got to have healing systems within our justice systems. You don't just throw them in there, feed them back and forth. There has to be healing processes in those cells. Instead of training them to become more involved in criminal activity. So again, I just want to thank you all, and we will try and make as much time to be able to do question and answer period for individually with the families. Again, thank you so much. Any questions? We'll open up for questions.
I just wanted to ask about the family's decision to put her name out there that never ever happened. Why was that so important? Maybe Fred or why was that so important to do?
I think from family's perspective, what they were concerned about is the safety of our children on the streets, safety of our girls and women on the street from the violence that they have been shown to them. And we also were concerned about other people that these two accused that have committed, that they'll go on and do something else, which actually happened from getting it from the Winnipeg police. So we wanted to put a stop to that and put these people, or put them off the street as soon as possible. I'd like to thank Winnipeg police for doing that.
How disappointing is it to the family that this appears to be Aboriginal on Aboriginal violence?
That happens everywhere, regardless of what society we're in, what kind of race we are. It happens. So it could have happened to white, Aboriginal. It's among us. It's just the way we are these days.
Fred, you touched on it earlier, but can you talk about sending the youth to Winnipeg from the northern communities and how anxious that is for the parents and difficult for the youth coming from a small, remote community to Winnipeg for school?
Yeah, that's one thing that the parents, the grandparents are concerned about when they send their children to Winnipeg for education. One of the factors that they've always been concerned about for a number of years is safety. The violence that we hear in the city of Winnipeg and the population figures, not the population, but the actual statistics on violence against women, children are always on our mind. But we have to get our people, our young people educated in order for our people to grow, to be educated, to be part of Canada's economic growth, and to get jobs in the community as well as outside.
Fred, is it any clearer what happened to Rinelle that night in terms of how she got separated from the people she was with and wound up with the two attackers?
I have not had a chance to talk to the family about that. Rinelle can't. I was talking to the father yesterday. She can't seem to remember what actually happened. So therefore, it's something that we would encourage. I guess it'd be wrong to encourage Rinelle to talk about it, but it's something that we have not discussed with the family.
And the family hasn't spoken to the kids that she was with?
They have. They have. Really, yeah.
So they don't know how that came to be then, how Rinelle came to be separated from that group?
Pardon me?
So, but you don't know how Rinelle came to be separated from that group?
No.
Okay.
How is Rinelle doing? What's the progress been like?
Again.
Go ahead. Okay.
Hello, I'm Rinelle Harper. She's getting better each day, and now I'd like to say thanks to everyone for the prayers, and she's already eager to go back to Southeast Collegiate already, and she wants to go back this week, she said. That's all I got to say for now.
She's saying she's excited to go back to school.
She's eager to go back to Southeast this week, she said.
Caesar, can you tell us the first words that she spoke to you when you saw her?
Pardon me?
When you saw her, your daughter, what were the first words she said to you?
first time I saw her.
In hospital?
First time when I saw her at the hospital. I don't know what was going to happen to her. And she was really looked so bad, beaten. So I was thinking about prayers that helped us. And it's really hard to forget what I saw her at first. So I'm so glad she's going to be alive and well. And she doesn't remember anything what happened to her. So all I gotta say thank you.
She's a tough young girl.
She is.
What would you like to tell people about her? What about the kind of girl that she is before this attack? What's she like?
She's a responsible girl, and my other daughter, my oldest daughter, she wanted to join the military last year, and she failed one of her courses and she couldn't go, and Rinelle wants to join this year with her too. That's her goal, and I hope she goes for it.
You said Rinelle's anxious and eager to get back to school. Are you worried about her staying here in Winnipeg and finishing out the school year?
I can't really say right now.
Have you spoken to her about what she means now to this community and what she represents? Does she understand that?
Not really, not yet.
I understand elders have also been speaking with you, with the family, and with her.
Yes, and her support went worldwide also. There's a lot of support out there for her.
How do you feel about that? I mean, this specific case has really affected the entire community, but also the country. What does that mean to you as a family and to Rinelle?
She's a big role model, and she's a fighter. She's a hero to everybody.
Are you comfortable with her name remaining out like this? I mean, her name is out there. Are you comfortable with her name remaining out?
I am now.
As we go forward?
Mm-hmm.
Is she comfortable with her name being out there? You know?
She hasn't said anything about that yet.
David, can I ask you, what does the community have to do? What do the larger community to rise to the occasion? What does the community as a whole to stop this kind of violence?
First of all, we got to have an open mind and open heart, and be able to listen to the cries of the women, the cries of those young girls, the cries of the young men and women that are out there on the street today. What had happened? You know, like I said, it is not high time now for. We got to have this paradigm shift. We have a new mayor in town. He's got to be able to open those doors for us First Nations to be able to go talk to him, to be able to say, look, these are the things that we can change. These are the things that we need to change, because almost every First Nation community brings its economy right into the city of Winnipeg. Our children are here. Our people, our kids go to school here, and there's a lot of concerns that we go through. Like I said, it is now high time. I mean, calling for a federal national inquiry on the missing and murdered women is one, but at the same time we got to go right down to the root of the community, and that's something that we got to work with. And I urge even the Justice Minister, and I even urge the Premier, I urge the Mayor and the councillors of the city to sit down with First Nations. You know, those things are very rare here in Canada. When Obama went and met the tribes of America, that opened a door for dialogue. And that's what this mayor has to do. And we're going to call on the mayor for sure. Because the thing is, the national, all the chiefs from across Canada are going to be here on December 9, 10, 11. And that is a time to raise these issues. We got to be able to have that dialogue. We got to be able to move forward. We want a safe community. And we know some of our young men and young women are involved in some of the activities that are happening throughout. But at the same time, we have to realize some of these young men and some of these young women have been in this system of going from foster care to foster care to foster care. There's no stability. And that's where we have a responsibility. I have a responsibility to be able to connect with my family, connect with my son, connect with my children, and be able to sit down and say, look, we cannot treat any other person any different as we are treating each other here today. That has to stop.
Is that the message you want to send out now too, is to families to talk to their men, to talk to the boys? Like why is there so much anger and violence towards women?
Exactly, and that's one of the conferences that were part of the AFN's assembly. One of the conferences that we're working on is where elders and youth are talking, and that's so important because back in the day we were sent to our elders. We were sat down. We were told to sit down there and listen to your elder. Today that's not happening. Today you look at television sets. You look at media, iPods and everything else. 2-year-old kids are their priority is right here, not where the elder is. Those are the things that we were brought up in, and those are the things that we have to change. And those are the things that we said that conference that's coming up December 8, 9, 10. One of them is going to be elder and youth, and that's going to be their discussions. How do we get back to that root where we are and who we are? We're not violent people. We were never brought up in this place to be violent, to raise violence. But the world has changed so much, and we got to bring back our children a little bit more, and be able to, in order for us to walk in harmony here in this, not only here in Canada but throughout the world. But I want to get the last comment from Elder Fred Harper.
I'd just like to say it takes a lot of courage for the family to come forward and talk about the incident that Rinelle just experienced. We're concerned about the girls and women all over, what they have to go through, and I think we've done the right part of sharing that information, how we feel, so that these people that do commit crimes know that there is a lot of hurt in the family if that happens. So we'd like to thank the people who have shown us their support and their continuous prayer to our family, and also to any woman and families that have experienced and have gone through this terrible family situation. I know that when we talk about it, it tends to create a lot of open wounds again when we talk about it. But I think one of the things that we wanted to stress out is the importance of working together so that this happens no more. We say no to violence. Let's work together and come to a common understanding that we need to live together in harmony. Thank you.
That should be all. So thank you all so much for coming out. We'll, if anybody wants to do one-on-ones, you're open to do so.
Thank you.
We were listening there live to the family and supporters of 16-year-old Rinelle Harper. Just to tell you why this was so important, she is the 16-year-old girl in Winnipeg who was sexually assaulted, beaten, thrown into the Assiniboine River, left for dead. This actually repeated itself when she climbed out of the river. Police say she was beaten again. I can tell you there are 2 young men in custody. Police are calling, have arrested them, and those are the suspects. This news conference was one of high emotion in which Caesar Harper, Rinelle's father, says the first time he saw her in hospital, she looked so bad, so beaten. He was in tears, and he says it's a picture that is hard to forget. But he wanted to thank those across the country and around the world, in fact, who have sent their well wishes, their prayers that his daughter overcomes. As for her condition, she is still in hospital. Yesterday, she was moved from the ICU into a regular ward. That is good news. However, her father, Caesar, says she remembers nothing of that incident. Her mother, who at first was not going to speak, was asked a question about the condition, the state of her daughter, and she said she's getting better each day. In fact, she is eager to go back to school and has the dream of one day joining the Canadian Forces and becoming a member of Canada's military. The Grand Chief, David Harper, looked at it from a perspective of change, saying, this is the hour we have to call for change. The violence has to stop. And he is asking the mayor of Winnipeg, asking the premier of the province, asking even for politicians in Ottawa to begin a dialogue in which that violence will stop and stories like that of Rinelle Harper do not happen again. That was a situation live. You saw it right here unfolding on CBC News Network from Winnipeg.